happy to be on with New Orleans Home Search Podcast. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with my good friend, Ms. Tancharelle Washington. She is the founder and CEO of NOLA Cupcakes. NOLA Cupcakes is a nonprofit organization that focuses on young girls and women empowerment. I'm super excited to have Tancharelle here today because we are closing out Women's International Month. So thank you so much, Tancharelle.
Hello.
Hey, I'm so happy to have you here.
I am happy to be here. Thank you.
We had to wait on you as per usual.
I'm like, internet be trying to act a little cuckoo.
I know it's so befitting though.
Right, right.
Tell
Appropriate
me
for
a
the
little
time.
bit. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, I love what I do. I have had the pleasure of working with women and girls for over 15 years. I was legally emancipated at age 16 and been on my own since then. And I just had this desire and urge to teach people what I learned very, very early, which was connecting, having a support system in place, and people who love you and are willing to help you in your corner can actually help you grow. So I get to be everybody's best friend and help their dreams come true. That's like the excitement of my life.
So you were a life coach before life coach became a thing to do.
Absolutely. I think it's more like I kind of help people find a blueprint for their life. I guess that's the best way to say it. Like you can draw up plans for anything. So I help people identify who they are, what they want to do, and how to make it happen.
I love that. I love it. So what gives you the inspiration to focus on women? Like why is women this thing for you that you must help us conquer it all?
So I don't feel like I could exist without it. You know how when you're born, you have like this, I'm here for something. This is what I feel like I'm here for. I think that God created me for a purpose bigger than me that's labeled as helping women identify who they are, changing the way we think, and not being stuck on, I cannot do anything, more focused on, I can, rather than what we lack and what we need or what we want.
Exactly. So just speaking into existence what we want to have happen.
Absolutely.
Okay, so one of my favorite parts about having you on the show is I love your take on things as far as women. And, a lot of times it takes us a long time to find out who we are. Like, we go through these changes in our bodies emotionally and physically. And I know you mentor little girls. So what would be some advice that you would give these little girls or parents of girls who are going through these changes and really just trying to figure out who they are and where they fit in this world?
Well, first, keeping them busy. Like an
Mhm.
idle mind is the devil's workshop. If you don't know what to do or don't have yourself occupied with something productive or creative, you tend to wander and lose focus. Instead of you thinking of things that can help you advance in your life, you're focused more on who to connect to. It's how, children get distracted with peer pressure and the need to please friends. Well, if you are a star athlete or if you're focused on writing or building, you tend to gravitate towards that versus being influenced so easily by others.
And that makes a lot of sense. I went to actually a Crew of Athena event her mentioned something that had stayed with me, and she said, always give the girls something to look forward to. So
Absolutely.
there's got to be something to do. Like, what's on the agenda? What's next? I have
Hmm.
something that I'm here for, and I have something in the future.
Yes, yes.
I love it. So The other thing, okay, young girls, we're busy as we going through life and we're going towards adulthood. I always say, like, who gave me my gems? Where did I get most of my gems? I think looking back, I got most of my gems from Oprah. Like my mom used to watch Oprah, and I used to listen right to what was going on and the advice that they would give about certain things. Everyone's been influenced by something outside of themselves to create their patterns. So give me some gems for as we get older. And now it's like, I wish I would have known this, or had I known this, what would I have made a mistake?
I would say some of my biggest life lessons has been supporting each other. So, one
Mm.
thing I would always tell my daughters, even today, is never feel like you're inferior to another person. Never think that your gift, your talent, your skill has to be hidden from others. I think that we're taught to, hold everything in. But actually, when you get this attitude where it's like, I don't really care what you feel, I don't care what you think about me. I'm going to share what I have and know in your heart that what God has given you is for you. I mean, look around. There's burger joints right next door to each other and no one's closing down. You have to have that mindset. So, my advice or nugget would be never think about what other people are doing. Do the hell out of you, and everything else will fall into place. And know that if you're following what you feel is in your heart and you follow what you feel is given to you, you'll never be distracted by what other people are doing. So stay focused and not care.
And as you were speaking, I was thinking about who does that? Lizzo. I love
Really?
how she's like, you're gonna take this body as it is, and I don't care. I'm gonna wear what I want, and I don't care about what you think about it. And
Absolutely.
that was a freeing thing, and I think it's a freeing thing when we learn to just be free and not care about what people think.
Yeah, confidence is key. So, you have to understand that your courage and boldness to be you is going to be your power. When you try to separate yourself and follow a crowd, you tend to feel less than. When you're always sizing yourself up or mirroring yourself to other people, you question the integrity of yourself. You question if you're supposed to be here. You question if you should be doing what you're doing. So don't let people into that capacity. Just say, you know what? I know who I am. I'm confident in who I am, and if they don't like you, be brave enough to step away.
Okay, because when one door closes, another door opens.
Yes, and remember, if you can't go through the door, go through a window.
Go through the window. Exactly. And another place that I find that we get gems from is books that we read. So
Absolutely.
I know you have expertise in that. Can you enlighten us?
So I wrote a book called Success My Sweetest Revenge. I've also written a bunch of chat books and short stories, which I still do now, and I ghostwrite with some people. But for the most part, Success My Sweetest Revenge is the story of teen Tancharelle and all of the little pitfalls, So I was legally emancipated at 16 with my twin sister, and I went through a lot of hardship and confusion. So I didn't want to become a teen mother. I decided that I had to get a grip on my life. I was raised by strong women before they were unfortunately, ill and unable to provide and take care of us. So I decided to develop these tips called Tan Tips, and I used them throughout my life to build, this like way for myself to not become a statistic and to finish high school, to open a business and to take control of my life, because it was easier for me to fall into peer pressure and get pregnant and do a whole bunch of dumb stuff. And it's not like I did not do dumb stuff, because if you get the book, I would embrace you. I did make some bad choices. I'm not ashamed. However, I learned from them, and the tips were effective in helping me to pull away from those ways and to change and to choose throughout my life so that I can do better, be better, and now I can help others to pull themselves out of messes.
I love that. And young girls want to listen to somebody that's relatable, that has been through the things that speaks their language, so to speak.
Hmm.
So I love that you did that to connect with them and share, like, look, I'm not perfect. I made mistakes, and here's how I've learned from them so that you won't go down the same road and make these same mistakes. And just
Absolutely.
sharing those gems. I love that. So, can you share with us where I can tell my listeners to purchase your book?
I'm on Amazon, so you can find me there if you are interested in copping a copy of Success My Sweetest Revenge. I am very proud of my book, and I'm also proud of an upcoming book that I'm writing that hopefully, I get to announce on your show one day. But it
Nice.
can be
I
found
would
on
love
Amazon.
exclusive.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, and the other thing too is if you are interested, if you people who are not buying on Amazon, you can also inbox me on Instagram or Facebook and I will make sure that I get you a copy.
Nice. I love the book and I love everything. So tell me, we're closing out Women's History Month. That's the whole point of the show, right?
Yes.
Tell me, right, as we finally get to that, what does that mean to you? Women's History Month.
It means a month to reconnect and be inspired because it's a reminder that there were so many women before us who had to walk in our shoes and, overcome, thrive, strive through worse conditions. So for me, it means we get to pay homage to women who did it before us and also learn from them in ways to stay strong in our own struggles or adversity or in confusion where you think you want to give up. Just know someone else did it and they made it
Without the internet.
without the internet. That part.
I was just talking. I'm like, man, I complain about real estate every day of my life. But I just think about agents who did it years back. They didn't have the internet. The MLS was a book. Well, what if somebody else had the book? I know it was huge fights over this book. And then who kept it up to date? Like, I don't get it. They had to hand walk or drive to get paperwork signed. There was no electronic signatures. Then they finally got the fax machine and everybody was excited.
Can you
Like,
imagine somebody paging you for a house?
oh yeah, then they had the pages. Like, oh, gotta get to a phone, gotta get to a phone.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what you do? Beat me the address?
You can beat the street number.
Like, right?
Yeah,
Oh my
so
goodness.
I pay homage to those who struggle the good. I know how it is now with all the technology, even in information at our fingertips. There's still so much more to know that you have to
Mhm.
do the legwork to find out. And so they had to do that in tenfolds, and
Right.
I salute them for sure.
Right. I'm like, hey, there's computers now, and you don't have to drive around and identify comps. So
I know, right?
we've come far.
And what did they do before cars? They walked around or they rode a horse, maybe.
Right. I mean, now an investor can text you.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
It's like it's a hot listing. Hop on your horse.
Right.
Hurry up.
Giddy up.
Yeah. Oh, I do have on a getting up shirt, so I
Let's
would have
get
got
it.
I would have gotten there fashionably
No,
first.
no, that's right. You're always fashionable. I can't imagine you back in the slavery days or something. You'll be like, oh no, I can't do that, massa.
You want me to wear what?
Right. Like, wait.
I would have been but I not for nothing though. Harriet Tubman scarf. That doesn't that look like the scarves we wear now? Because I have one that I wear to the gym all the time. The
Exactly.
bandana. It's a bandana.
It is, and that's appropriate. Everything
Okay.
else, I don't know if I could have pulled any of that off.
None of the rest of them. No. I might have liked the era where they wore the bustiers.
Oh, I would have loved that. Now
The
that
way
works for
before
me.
then too.
I feel like,
I know, right?
we would have been good. Yeah, we would have been good if we came about in the days where we were born into the queens that we are, like, but back then where it's like we were fighting for the crown. I think you and I would have been like strong together and taken over.
I wouldn't even ask for the crown. I
I
would have
know, right?
did crown stuff
Bring it.
anyway. Okay, you be the queen, but I'm gonna do all the queen stuff anyway.
Right.
So let's
Oh
talk
my
about
goodness.
this. I want to end with queens, right? Because that's
Yes.
who we are, and realizing who we are. Once you realize your self worth, nothing is impossible.
Right, right, right. So I'll tell you this. I have to say this about queens. So I don't know if you have any idea about the Tudor line, but I am obsessed with the red and white rose with the queens who reigned before us. Queen Elizabeth reigned for 40 years and she was labeled as a virgin, okay? I am impressed with women who fought for their crown, kept their space, but it was a lot of girl on girl crime during those days. It's like, women had to be hit other women to be strong and recognized as fierce and formidable forces. But nowadays, I feel like we still experience those same challenges as women, where we biting off each other's head just to make it.
It's true, and there can be more than one of us in the room,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
together we can conquer the world.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, look at us.
I mean, not for nothing, but the way women communicate, it's
Mhm.
like just look at how we plan trips. I mean,
Mhm.
I can be at the airport and I got everything together on my phone in like 15 minutes. I don't know men
Absolutely.
that can do that.
I don't either. They need a list to get dressed and pack.
If I'm doing this woman's doing that, us all together, it's going. Things are
Oh yeah.
moving and things are happening. We're
Absolutely.
not taking no for an answer. If we do all of that together, we'd have everything we want.
Right.
And I
Right.
think
Even
we've
sharing
shown that we've done
information.
it. Sharing information, shadows, gems.
Mhm.
So pleased when a young person asks me to share with them something, and I will share to them the real what it is, and I won't sugarcoat it, and I'll tell them exactly what to expect, especially young girls coming into or wanting to come into real estate, and they think like, oh, it's a great way to make money and it's not that hard and I can do it on the side. And I'm like, girl, I work hard. Like, no, that's not it. This is all of what you have to do. This is what you're expected to achieve with this responsibility, because that's what it is, and you have to take it
Right.
seriously. And when they find that out,
Mhm.
I know they're probably like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm not saying this to deter you. You can do it. However, like, I wish someone would have told me how much money I would have needed for my initial investment to be successful in my career. No
Mhm.
one wants to share that. And that just speaks to also in Hollywood. The actresses are finally sharing how much they make. For years, nobody
Mhm.
knew what nobody else made. So you can be acting beside a man that's making 100,000 to millions more than you,
That part.
which is crazy. So I think I love the way this information age has taken us, knowing what we're getting into before we get into it.
Yeah.
And we need teamwork makes the dream work.
It absolutely does.
Yeah. So I want everybody to know how to get in touch with you. People are looking all the time for someone to give them the roadmap. They may know what they want to do, just not know how to get there. And men
Mhm.
and women can both. benefit from your services. So let's tell them how they can get in touch with you.
Okay, one way to reach me is you can always at me at Tancharelle on Instagram. I am welcoming all messages, or you can register on my website. The link is also in my bio on Instagram, and you can reach me on Facebook. I'm very accessible and I'm always there.
Thank you so much, Tancharelle, for being on the show. I'm so glad
My
to finally
pleasure.
have you here. All right. And thank you guys for listening in. As always, New Orleans Home Search Podcast. We bring everything New Orleans and real estate